Reed Sheppard has been playing his best basketball this season. Alperen Şengün walked down Giannis Antetokounmpo for the game. He's been playing really well this season. And we're also going to be talking about this Houston Rockets zone. Probably cost him a few games this season. So stay tuned for this episode of Brad on Will Show. You're not going to want to miss it.
All right, and welcome back to the episode of the Brado and Will Show. Got a special episode today because we get to finally talk about Reed Sheppard in a positive light on this
Yep.
podcast, which has not been done in a minute because there wasn't too much to talk about with Summer League. And this hasn't really been too much standout. So I think this is the first time in quite some time we get to talk about some positives when it comes to Reed Sheppard. But yeah, man, if you have not been keeping up, Reed Sheppard has been playing some of the best basketball of his career, of his short career so far. I'll kind of let Brad rattle off some of the stats so we can get the overview of that before we kind of jump into it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Reed Sheppard has been doing. I can just go off of the season sample. Right now, he's shooting 47.9% from three. That's 23 of 48 on the season as a whole. 5.3 attempts per game. So he's letting them fly, and he's really hitting them in these last few games for sure. But just on that season sample, that's second best on the team right now behind Tari Eason. Shout out to Tari because he's still shooting like 52% from three. But yeah, the Rockets, they get this guy from Kentucky. He's shooting 52%, and you've been waiting on him to display this shooting ability. And, we're only 9 games into the season. But of course, it's really good to see Reed Sheppard hitting these threes and in high leverage games too. And especially in a game against Milwaukee where the Rockets were down 14, they needed some shooting. Reed is getting clutch threes and getting clutch steals, clutch threes. He's been hooping. If you want to just look at the last 3 game sample, I'll show you those stats. 80 true shooting percentage, 58.8 3-point percentage on 5.7 threes a night. That's 15 points as well. Like he's really playing amazing basketball. And not even that, the 2.3 steals per game is what gets me. I can go back to that game against Milwaukee. He had tied a career high 4 steals. And again, those were like not someone just threw the ball and I pick it up still. He's like, I'm pickpocketing you still. Like it was a loud steal. He's ripping Giannis. He's poking the rock from behind on Cole Anthony. He was really out there causing havoc. He blocked Cole Anthony again on a separate play. So 4 steals and a block in that last game. Again, excellent basketball. And it really kind of started in that San Antonio game. I'm blanking. Who do we play before San Antonio, Will? If you don't remember off the top of your
Was
head,
it the Mavericks?
it could have. It was the. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna look this up live. It was Memphis.
Oh,
And against Memphis, he had
yeah.
12 points. Yeah, 12 points on 5 of 7, 2 of 4 from 3. Yeah, that was a blowout game. So it was just a calm Reed game. But the game that really stood out was that Spurs game. And I'm sure Will probably say the same.
I
That was
think
when.
the Bucks game was better.
Oh no, for sure. But I'm saying the Spurs game is what was like. Oh, Reed he's kind of turning the corner. And
Yeah.
that Bucks game solidified it. So yeah, in that San Antonio game, he had 16 points, 6 assists, only 1 turnover, and that was a game again, high leverage game. Rockets were struggling. You got to keep him on the court because he's hooping, right? So it was good to see him in that. And then of course, as we discussed in the Milwaukee game, he came out just hooping. So yeah, I love what I'm seeing. We've been talking on this pod. We're not selling the Reed stock. Stay patient with Reed. Get out the trade machines. We just started the season. Give the brother some time. We'll put it on his timeline. He hasn't even played 82 games yet in his career. We're not going to trade him. Okay, so just relax, watch some basketball, and see what happens. And look what we're getting. So last stat I'll rattle off is he actually has a 3.0 steal percentage, which is extremely high to go along with his 3-point percentage. Only person to do that, like for a full season sample of over 45% from three and the 3 steal percentage, is Stephen Curry, right? I'm not saying Reed's gonna do that for a full season, but just for perspective, how well he's playing at this point in time. So it is important to stay patient for these youngins. Reed's doing his thing, and I hope he keeps it up.
Give me 1 second because I want to pull up a stat that I thought of off the
Yeah,
top of my
as you
head.
pull it up,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll continue to rattle off some more stats about Reed because I've been a fan of what I've been seeing from Reed Sheppard. On the season as a whole, to start, he was really inefficient, especially inside the arc. But now on the full season sample, he has a 61.2 true shooting percentage, which is above average, especially for guards. So that's very impressive. 2-point percentage is still a little too low, 43.8%. So that needs to improve. But hey, as a whole, you can't be mad at what you've been seeing from Reed on a full season sample. That's what you want from your backup point. And hopefully, eventually, Purdue could take over for Fred VanVleet. And I also wanted to mention he had some really nice passes in that Spurs game that kind of looked Fred VanVleet-esque. The bounce pass to Şengün for the short, like float push shot. Fred, that was their bread and butter. So it was good to see Reed get one of those off.
Okay, I'm ready now. So I want to first go over why I think all of the Reed Sheppard is a bust and Rockets should trade Reed Sheppard, all that good stuff. Those takes are entirely too premature. And before I even go ahead and explain why that's premature, I'm going to let you know right now the Rockets aren't going to trade Reed Sheppard. So if you're holding out hope that he's going to get moved, I'll say the only way he gets moved is in a trade for a star, right? They're not trading him for Dennis Schroeder or Kobe White. Just letting you know that right now. Like that's not happening.
That would age so poorly.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They drafted this guy number 3 overall, not even 2 years ago yet. They're not trading that guy for, like I said, Kobe White. Just not happening, right? But okay, the biggest reason why you shouldn't be selling your Reed Sheppard stock is because the dude has barely played basketball games, and that's in order for you to determine if someone is a bust or is not a bust, if they're a hit, if they're an all-star, whatever, they have to play basketball games for you to draw conclusions from. And you don't have anywhere near an adequate sample to kind of draw how many, like any long-term conclusions from Reed Sheppard on. Reed Sheppard has played 61 games in his entire NBA career. That's total games, and so including his rookie season and the season right now that we just started, right? But the unfortunate part is, because mind you, we've only played 9 games this season. So quick math, 52 of those were from his rookie season, right? He played 52 games last season.
Yep.
So you would think, okay, 52 games. But of those 52 games, right? Or I guess 51 games in a period, I filtered for how many of those games did Reed Sheppard play 20 minutes or more. Would you like to guess, Brad? I feel like you might know. Would you like to guess what the number is?
20 minutes or more in the rookie year?
No, period. This year and last year.
I would guess like 12 or something like that.
You are too high.
Close?
You're close, but you're just too high. He has played 10 games, yes.
Okay.
So of that 62 that we just talked about, 61, only 10 of them were when he played 20 or more minutes. To contextualize that even further, Alex Sarr was number 2 pick in that draft. He's played 75 games of 20 minutes or more. Stephon Castle, the 4th pick in that same class, 76 games of 20 minutes or more. And then Zachary Richard, the 1st pick in that draft class, 67 games of 20 minutes or more. So 67, 76, 75, 10. And the biggest difference between like those guys and Reed Sheppard is Reed Sheppard was drafted to a good team, right? The Spurs are a good team now. They weren't a good team when Castle got there. The Hawks are not gonna say they're a bad team per se, but they are a team that needed Richard Shay's position, so he came in and started immediately, right? Same thing with Sarr and the Wizards. Not a good basketball team. They started him off rips. The Rockets are a team that's been good and have had a lot of depth at Reed's position, especially going back to last season when we had Fred, we had Jalen, we had a men who got some guard minutes. We had Aaron Holiday, who in my opinion, still was a rotation piece. And these were guys who were logging up those minutes at the guard spot. There's not a lot of minutes for the undersized guard to come in and make mistakes, especially on a team that's trying to win basketball games, right? You go out there and you turn the ball over 3 times the same way a rookie guard would. Ime's going to pull you because we're trying to win games, and that's not helping you win games. So he was in a position where there really wasn't opportunity for him to grow through his mistakes on the court and learn through them in real time. And that's how you get the nights where he looks like he's kind of out of place, because these are essentially his first ever minutes on an NBA court for real. And so I think we're seeing now, it's obviously just been 2 games because count the Spurs game, count this game against the Bucks, but we're seeing him now where he's getting a rhythm. He's starting to kind of understand where he fits into our offense. One of the things I noticed that's a stark contrast from this season to last season was Reed Sheppard has been a lot more confident in letting him fly. There was a couple of times last year where he was open or had an opportunity to be aggressive and didn't take it, and we were all at home like, Reed, like, just be aggressive out there. Now, I think the problem with Reed now is in some cases he's a bit too aggressive, right? Where you would kind of rather him pass the ball to Katie or pass the ball to Şengün. And I think it's one of the beautiful things about that game against the Bucks. I feel like he found a really good balance of being aggressive and hunting his own shot while also maintaining offensive flow, getting the ball to the stars and letting them do their thing. And what comes to my mind about that is there was moments in the first half where he was getting to the mid-range shot, getting to his own offense. Right, that's a layup for him to get to those pull-up middies. He was getting to that. He had a pull-up three where Capella set him on kind of a brush screen. I think it
Yep.
was Bobby Portis was the big and kind of dropped there, didn't really step up. So Reed just, all right, cool, you're gonna go under my screen, I'm gonna pull it, right? I'm gonna be aggressive, take my own shots. But the other thing is like I said, he was finding guys, or not ball hogging. He wasn't just going through the motions of, all right, I'm gonna score every time I get the ball, right? There was possessions where
Hmm.
I think it was Ryan Rollins was on him, and I go, he quite as kept, he broke Ryan Rollins' ankles, like had bro kind of on
He
all
did.
fours on the
He
ground.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
broke his ankles, and then had the opportunity to kind of step into a three. And I'm gonna be real, a lot of young players in the league would see, oh, it's a highlight right here. I just broke this dude's ankles. Maybe I can pull the shot off. Reed was like, nah, I'm gonna just come off this. And he gave a ball. I want to say it was to Shingun. It was either Shingun or Katie, but I'm pretty positive it was Shingun actually. So he just gave a ball to Shingun. And I want to say we scored that possession. I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to say that's the possession that we scored. And this is in crunch time. Um, and so, like, I love that. I love the fact that he's putting himself in position not only to hit pull up threes, but he's one thing you'll notice about Reed Sheppard that he does a lot is, especially in transition, he hunts the corner, he sprints there, backpedals to that corner, and that's how he got those opportunities. Like against when he got that steal on the inbounds play, and Emil was able to give him the ball in the corner. That happened because Reed immediately hunted that corner in transition, right? Or he'll position himself in in an off ball roll. Um, Off ball roll when like Shingun or Katie has the ball so he can catch and finish it, different things like that. So I'm loving that from him. And then last but not least, just the defense. Everyone's been talking about how he's too small and can't play defense. I saw him play really good defense yesterday. Point of attack defense, off ball defense, got in the passing lanes, got a block, right? He was active the entire time. Now, a lot of those steals he got were products of gambles going his way. So there's gonna be nights where he gambles and it doesn't go his way. But I think I think similar to Tar, you kind of live with the mistakes because he is so talented at getting into those lanes and causing those turnovers. But
Hmm.
two, I think that I think Reed Sheppard at his size, there's been a couple of times where like he has to gamble. I can't remember what, I think it was maybe like Bobby Portis was backing him down and he like gambled a little bit too
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
And it was like obviously you probably would tell him not to do that, but it's Bobby Portis. Like he's not gonna stop Bobby Portis. So if his way of like, all right, I'm gonna get scored on anyways, I might as well take like a gamble here. I'm fine with it. I think that makes perfect sense. And so, like I said, I think that he's growing as a defender still. He's growing as an offensive player still. And I think anyone who's selling their stock on Reed Sheppard right now is being ridiculous. Quite frankly, I think you're being a bit impatient. And I'll say this much, and I'll stop talking. It's gonna look ugly again. There's gonna be another game. Maybe as soon as we play again, we play Wednesday. It might be as soon as then where Reed Sheppard doesn't look good again. It's gonna happen. Where he's gonna have a bunch of turnovers, gonna miss a bunch of shots, may make some poor decisions with the basketball in his hands. That's just a part of the process, right?
Hmm.
It's not going to be a one day it just clicks and he's just a superstar. Like it's not gonna. It's gonna be a process. It's gonna be ups and downs.
Hmm.
And all I'm asking for is when that happens, because it's gonna happen. Just be patient, right? Understand that tough times don't last forever, and that like it's a process that he's going through. He's figuring out in real time, and there is a light in the tunnel. If we go through these struggles. So that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. Before we switch topics, did you see how many shots Cade put up today?
No, but I heard that he put up a lot, and I heard
He
he was.
putting
I
them
assume
up.
he's
He got
inefficient.
38. If you saw me make a facial expression, that's what that was. 38
He put up
shots.
38
He
shots.
put up 38 shots. I
He
literally,
has
yeah.
38 on 38.
Bro, I had to look up a stat on that. Yeah, bro. Fifth 23 player to put up 38 shots in a game. Jordan being the last one since
You said what
87.
was his stat?
Since 1987, only 5 23 players have put up 38 shots. It was LaMelo, Tyrese Maxey, Devin Booker, and then MJ.
Jesus
But
Christ.
he the only one to have less than 38. But back to Rockets hoops. That's a lot of shots. Shout out to Kate. We wanted to discuss Alperen Şengün. One, Alperen Şengün has been extremely consistent playmaking wise. Turnovers could cut down for sure, but in the playmaking department, look at the games 1 through 9. Not a single game below 6 assists. And if you want to look at that streak, Jokic and Wilt Chamberlain are the only ones to start a season center wise with more games with 5 assists. I think Jokic had 11, Wilt had 10. Şengün right now is at 9. That's how consistent he has been. That's a very impressive streak. But we got to talk about him walking down Giannis at the end of the game. Giannis was hounding him full court. Şengün hit him with a jab, took him up, told everyone to chill out, took him to the cup, drop step Miles Turner, and got a bucket, flexing on everybody. So I love what I've seen from Şengün in the clutch. He is actually tied with SGA and Pascal Siakam for the most buckets in the last minute of a game when the score's within 0 and 3. That's how consistent and how reliable he's been for the Rockets, especially in the clutch. You obviously have KD, who you want, to have the Rockets in the game, but Şengün is showing you can trust him. He hit 3 of those shots against OKC. They ended up losing, but a lot of clutch shots in that game. So I had to give Alperen Şengün his props. He's been extremely, again, consistent as the Rockets playmaker. 39% from three, by the way, on over 3 attempts tonight. That's good 9 games through. And yeah, overall he's averaging like 22, 10, and like 7.3. So we'll take that. We'll take that. The efficiency is like a 58.3 true shooting. It can go up a little bit, but hey, I got to give props to Şengün. He's looking like a second team All NBA at this point in time.
I think the important part for me with Şengün is not only did he walk the Bucks down and Giannis Antetokounmpo down offensively to end that game.
Mhm.
Go back and rewatch, especially in the crunch time. He was guarding Giannis. He was not off switches, not off of cross matches. When the Bucks would inbounds the ball, Giannis was being guarded by Şengün. And to me, that is just ridiculous. Now, especially throughout the game, there are times where Giannis just is Giannis and scores. But like I said, especially in that crunch time, I went back and rewatched it. Giannis, I don't think made a single field goal in the last like 4 minutes. I could be wrong about that. If he did, it was maybe like one. I don't think he made too many field goals in the last 4 to 5 minutes of the game. He did make some free throws. I think he made like one, maybe 2 free throws. But I know he was not being put. Matter of fact, I don't even know. Like I just can't look it up. Well, actually, it won't show me the last 4 minutes. Do you have a way to filter for the last like 5 minutes of the game?
Yeah, last 5 minutes of the game for what?
For Giannis, how many field goals did he make?
Yeah, let me see if I can find that for you.
I'll keep talking while you look it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, but when I went back and we watched the film, Giannis wasn't even like trying Şengün, right? There was a lot of times they would call switches or he would get the ball and pass. He didn't really try him. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Şengün clamped him up because that's not an accurate depiction of what happened. And mind you, it's Giannis. So you could play the best defense in your life and he's still gonna find a way to score. But what I will say is that he played solid enough defense. And the fact that the Rockets and Ime Udoka said, yeah, like you're just gonna guard Giannis, dude. Like we're gonna put you on Giannis. Like that's your assignment. And he goes out there and he does it to the best of his abilities, and then also has enough in the tank to run your offense, and then not just run your offense, but hit the game ceiling and one shot. I mean, that's a ridiculous basketball player we're talking about, dude. I don't know. I don't know too many guys in the league who were drawing the defensive assignment of Giannis and then taking Giannis full court, coast to coast for a spin move and one. Like I don't know that many guys at that position who are doing that, what I just described. And here's this 23-year-old who's doing it. Like Brad said, he's for sure gonna make an All NBA team this year. Knock on wood, he stays healthy. He's gonna be an All NBA member. And I'm gonna be real. He's gonna finish top 10 in MVP voting this year. Like it's gonna be one of the accolades on his career. He has a top 10 MVP finish because I think we're gonna be that good of a team, and he's gonna be not necessarily the best player on the team, but for sure the most impactful.
Yeah, so he was 1 of 3 in the last 5 minutes against the Rockets.
And I really wonder where that one came from. I don't remember it. I really don't remember where that one field goal came from, but
it was an assisted bucket. It looked like, yeah. So it wasn't self-created. I can't see. It's not.
I still don't remember. It isn't, but that's neither here nor there. It probably went on Şengün. So
right.
that goes to show you my point that Şengün was, regardless of him, playing. I'm not gonna say he played lockdown defense, but like I said, he played solid enough defense. Giannis wasn't hunting him.
Oh, and real quick. I mean, I pulled this stat today. Giannis shot 4 of 11 against Şengün in that game, right? So, hey, we've been saying it. Şengün has been defending, man. He's really been defending. So that's what I was saying. Yeah, he's been doing really good. So, yeah. Hey, 6-3. We got Washington next, but we got to talk about this Houston Rockets zone. I saw a graph. I know people don't like looking at graphs when we're talking about sports, but it caught my attention. It showed. I don't know if you saw this graph, Will. I might have to find it. It showed every team's zone usage, how many times they've ran zone, and every team's field goal percentage against when running zone. When I tell you the Rockets were miles ahead of every other team in the NBA on the number of times a team has ran zone. Now, I will say this: they were top 8-ish% in field goal against, which is good, right? Top 8%. But a eye test, a eye test is not telling me that. So, before I let Will go, I'll say this: I am okay with running the zone incrementally. I don't know if I said that right, but it's
The
not
word you're
something
looking for is situationally.
situationally. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, I would run it situationally, not something that I run back to back to back to back and let the offense get set so they can walk into a play knowing, hey, I'm about to beat this 2-3 zone. I'm gonna get someone in the middle court. We're gonna swing the rock around, and we're gonna find ways to expose the 2-3 zone. I think Ime Udoka is too much of a basketball mind to do that. Now you can mix it in here and there, but hey, man, look, uh, it's a good team. Come on, we can't be doing this. It literally killed the Rockets in that Spurs game down the stretch. It was tough to watch. The Rockets, they were fighting, they were getting buckets, trying to get back in the game, trying to crawl back in the game, and then boom, the zone. It's just leaving people wide open, scrambling. If they missed a shot, people are scrambling, so they get an offensive board and kicking it back for another open shot, right? So y'all let me know if I'm tripping. I want to hear y'all's comments about the 2-3 zone, but that's just me. I think they should use it more situationally. Shout out to Will for the word choice. But yeah, that's what I think about it.
Yeah, no, that's how I feel as well. I think zone should not be a default. It should be a
Mhm,
situational thing because he's a professional basketball players who, and we're running the most like basic 2-3. It's not even like like we used to run a zone last year where it would kind of evolve, and I would get mad because we would be like there will be no principles to it. And
mhm,
I think even then that was better than what we do now. We run on that basic 2-3. There's no evolution to it. There's no movement. It's literally just two top of the key, three back line, and hope for the best. And I mean, if you've played basketball any level, if you play 2K, whatever, right? You've probably ran into a team that's ran 2-3, and you've run into a coach that's told you how to beat it. You
mhm,
either there's really these Phil Albers taught there's two really ways to beat it. Have someone go free throw extended, space out, or five out entirely and swing the ball around the perimeter.
mhm,
And no matter what, you're going to get a good look because a zone is designed to give up something.
mhm,
And I mean, you're asking NBA players, professional athletes to not be able to thrive in what you're giving up, which, like I said, if it's free throw extended, you're asking Victor Wembanyama to not be able to hit mid ranges. And then if it's, the five out method, you're asking whoever you think the weakest shooter on the opposing team is to not be able to hit an open three. And it's like, once again, these professional athletes, like they can do that. So
yeah,
I think asking them to do that for the entire game is ridiculous. Now, if there's certain lineups and matchups where you feel like a zone will be advantageous for you, I'm fine with them running it and deploying the zone in those situations. But just in general, it doesn't work. I mean, the Spurs cooked us in our 2-3 zone with the exact same play over and over and over again. And people were mad and saying it was Reed's fault or it was this guy's fault or it was that guy's fault. And I'm like, look, man, that's what happens when you run zone. You give
yep,
up something.
mhm,
It's like that's kind of what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to give. You're taking away something in order to give up something else. And so like it's gonna happen. And the Spurs were very wise to notice that and just found a way to exploit the exact same zone coverage over and over and over again. And we just didn't adjust, and so we lost. So yeah, man. I think we need to like we didn't run zone as much against the Bucks, so we're
right,
trending the
right,
right direction. But mind you, we did the same thing. I want to say it was against the Grizzlies where we kind of didn't run zone quite as much, and then we went right back to it against the Spurs. So who knows? Who knows what they're planning to do on Wednesday against the Wizards? I mean, funny enough, I think the Wizards are probably one of the few teams in the league that a zone would mess up just because they don't have the best shooting or the most experienced ball handlers when it comes to dealing with zones.
mhm.
But at the same time, I think you have to, if you're going to go zone, just be prepared to get out of it if it goes south, which it can. So, yeah, man, that's how I feel about it. It cost us against the Spurs amongst many other things, but
Yes, it did. Yep.
maybe it'll be the reason we beat the Wizards. So who knows?
Yeah, the Wizards right now, low key lacing it up against Detroit. They got 15 threes. So we'll see. Again, NBA team, you leaving guys wide open, they gonna hit them. So I mean, we'll see what happens against the Wizards. They should smack the Wizards, but they got a good Detroit team
Oh
right now
wow,
at OT.
Detroit first OT.
They forced OT, so Cade gonna mess around and get 45 shots by the end of this game. He got 41 right now.
Wow.
Oh my goodness,
They're
Cade.
such a good team right now, man. I like watching the Pistons.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. We can jump to that right here if you want to. But that's really the episode of this Brad on Will show. Again, let us know your comments on what we were talking about, the zone, how Reed Sheppard is playing. Did you sell your stock, or did you always keep the stock? I'm curious to see what y'all got in the comments. And then Şengün, man. Let me hear what y'all think about Şengün in the clutch, how he's been over the course of the season, MVP case, or All NBA, all that stuff. So, yeah, and of course, like and subscribe. We're trying to get 5K subs this year at the minimum. So road to 5K, road to 5K. Appreciate y'all as always for listening. That was an episode of the Brad and Will Show. We'll be back soon.